Greetings, everyone, and welcome to day 13 of the 30 Days to Greater Self-Love Masterclass series and challenge. We are on day 13, and it has been a tremendously rewarding journey thus far. I am the facilitator, life coach, Teddy A. Jones, Coach TJ. NLP Master Practitioner, that's Neuro Linguistic Programming Master Practitioner Life Coach. My website, where you can find out more information about my coaching practice and the other things that I am doing in the people helping, people development sector, is www.teddyajones.com, and you can reach me by email at coaching@teddyajones.com. The campaign has been great so far, and we are about to get into the content and assignment. Most importantly, the assignment for day 13. Here we go. So welcome to day 13. You are doing fantastic. Fantastic. You have made it thus far, and I congratulate you for making it thus far. Let's do a review of your work. I was tempted to write homework, but I thought better of it. It is your work, whether you do it at home or at the office or at the beach, wherever you do it, as long as you do the assignments and activities, because these are the habits that we are sharing with you, the habits that will actually help you to develop greater self-love. So what have you done so far? You have developed the habit of becoming aware of your self-talk and your own approach to loving yourself. Then we looked at start reading a book on the topic of self-love. Then we looked at creating and using affirmations, your affirmations. You were asked to write 10 affirmations and walk with them on a daily basis so that you can read them throughout the day and read them aloud to yourself every opportunity that you have to do so. Then we gave you the assignment to eat nutritiously, and I will be sharing with you some supplemental bonus material on eating nutritiously that is coming your way over the weekend. And then we asked you to write yourself a love letter. And yesterday, we asked you to ask someone for a favor, to develop the habit of thinking to yourself that you are important enough, you deserve help when you need it, and don't shrink back. Don't buy into this idea that you are being a bother to anyone. You are not being a bother to anyone when you ask for a favor. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 assignments so far. How did you do? Be honest now. How did you do? All right. I hope that you did all 7 of them. If you didn't do all, no worries. Please try to catch up. Remember the commitment that you made at the start of this campaign, that you will stick with it and that you will be fully participating in the assignments and activities. So I trust that you will catch up and you will stay on track, stay on target with the habits, building the habits of greater self-love. So today, as we said, is day 13, and I introduce you now to the assignment for day 13. What are we going to be focusing on? For today, I want to ask you to remove the need for perfection. Starting today, develop the habit of removing the need for perfection. Whether you require perfection from yourself, from others, or both, I can bet if that is your approach to life, that you are consistently miserable. That's a recipe for misery. I saw a great little maxim online some time ago. It said, the next time you think you are perfect, try walking on water. We are not. And so many times we enter into a state of being miserable because we are demanding perfection from ourselves or from others or both. The truth is, friends, perfection simply does not truly exist. Not in this life, at least. Not for us fallen humans. Not for us fallible human beings. It's a theoretical idea that can never be attained. We strive towards it. We strive to continuously excel and improve, but we must disabuse ourselves of the notion of demanding perfection of ourselves and others. People who are like that are described as perfectionists, and that is a recipe for a very miserable self and a very miserable relationship with those that you demand perfection of. You might even believe, just in case, that you have met the perfect man or woman, but you haven't. You just haven't experienced their imperfections yet. Sure enough, before long, you will recognize that even that person that you think is perfect, they really are not perfect after all. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's just the truth. And you know I will tell you the truth. That's my task as a life coach, to tell you the truth, to confront you with the truth, to allow you to see the lies and the cracks and the weaknesses in the talk, especially the self-limiting talk that you have been engaging with yourself in. When you demand perfection from yourself, you can never be happy with yourself. This is a perfect way to always be disgruntled and resent yourself. You are setting yourself up for self-loathing, self-resentment. So this is one of those rare key assignments that I want you to really drill down on, to start today and daily make this a practice. Lose the need for perfection. Now again, let me clarify, let me insert a caveat. Please do not hear me, Coach TJ, to be saying that we must not strive for better. Absolutely not. That would not be true. If that were so, we wouldn't be engaging in 30 days to greater self-love. What I am saying is, let us not confuse that with demanding perfection of ourselves and others. And when we set impossible expectations, they will never lead to satisfaction. We will never be satisfied if our expectations of ourselves and of others are impossible. And I am categorically saying that it is impossible to gain perfection from ourselves and from others. So we need to stop it. Listen to this quote from Kingston. Neff says, I found in my research that the biggest Let's try that again. I found in my research that the biggest reason people aren't more self-compassionate is that they are afraid they will become self-indulgent. They believe self-criticism is what keeps them in line. Most people have gotten it wrong because our culture says being hard on yourself is the way to be. And this is profound. Neff is saying that in her research, one of the biggest reasons that people are not more self-compassionate, more self-loving, is that they are afraid that if they become more compassionate of themselves and love themselves more, that this is being self-indulgent. What the culture teaches us is to be hard on ourselves rather than to love ourselves and to be compassionate on ourselves. And so to keep themselves in line based on what the culture teaches of being hard on yourself, people engage more and more in self-criticism rather than being self-compassionate. Do you see the connection between the need, the desire for perfection, and what this research is indicating here? Let us not buy into this aspect of cultural expectations. Let us lose the need to be so perfect. Let us stop being so self-critical. Loving yourself is not being self-indulgent. Being compassionate to yourself is not being self-compassionate. You don't need to be self-critical in order to keep yourself in line. There are other checks and balances that you can implement that do not involve you being so hard on yourself, especially after you have set the impossible target, the impossible expectation of perfection. So, my challenge to you is to be kind to yourself and realize that your best effort is enough. Do your best. Give of your best. Strive after your best. And consider that to be enough. When you've given of your best, whatever the result, as long as you know that you have given of your best. You see, we're not talking about letting ourselves off the hook easily here. We are insisting that we strive towards our best selves. And when we do that, the results, simply because so many things in life are simply out of our control. There are so many uncontrollable factors that determine the outcomes. And so when you strive and you do and you give of your best, the result is enough. Our best is always enough. Forget about perfection. It only leads to misery. So your task, your specific task, start today. Spend today relieving yourself of the need to be perfect. Let it go. Set it aside. Change your perspective. Strive for best rather than striving for perfection. So that's your task for today. A reorienting of your mind, a reorienting of your approach. Tell yourself, it is okay not to be perfect. And if you are in a situation where someone who is dear and near to you is holding you to that, tell that to yourself and let that person know, my best is enough. Your demand for perfection does not define me. I will, as of today, set the expectation, and I will set that expectation to my best rather than perfection. So that's your task for today. Remember to repeat the previous 7 ones that we reviewed and add this 8th one on the 13th day of our challenge, our series. Lose the desire for perfection. That's your challenge for today. This is Coach TJ, driving you, working with you towards your best self so that you can be all that you can and should be. Your best self, helping you to make that vertical leap from mediocrity to legacy. I'll see you on the other side of time, hopefully in God's will, as we come back for another challenge. And we have a very interesting day ahead of us, again, for day 14. Take care. Cheers. enjoy the day, and be good.